indeed, Meghna. Thanks indeed, viewers. Our constitution imagined an India where all could practice their faith in accordance with their beliefs, without fear or favor. This is the essence of secularism. But sadly, viewers, secularism is discriminatory in practice in this country. Self-serving politicians and their ideological cohorts in academia and other places have reduced secularism to minorityism. What is minorityism? It is a state where executive power or legislative power is wielded to benefit the minority, quite often at the expense of the majority. The impact of this selectiveness, this selective secularism, this minorityism is now all too apparent, viewers. Hindu temples are controlled by the state in isolation. No other faith sees its places of worship being arrogated to the state, hypothecated to the state. The donations of followers being taken by the state. This happens in India, viewers. It happens exclusively with Hindu temples. Hindu religious customs are regulated by the law passed by the state, but minorities are allowed to live by their own personal laws. Hindu demands for justice are ignored. Viewers, today, this appeasement of minorities has reached absurd lengths. In Kerala's capital, the state swooped in to ban saffron decorations put up for the Bhadrakali temple festival. This happened yesterday. Thankfully, today, the High Court stepped in and categorically told the communist government in Kerala that the state can't meddle with affairs of the temple. Small mercies, viewers. Small mercies. Today, viewers, rather shockingly, in Panki town of Palamu district in Jharkhand, decorations put up for the pious Hindu festival of Shivratri came under attack. What should have been a joyous preparation for one of the holiest days for Hindus, Maha Shivratri, turned into a savage clash. As per reports, when a Toran gate was being crimes, Hindus and their places of worship, and let me show you those pictures from Canada, viewers. Repulsive defacement. Repulsive. You can see it in the middle of your screens. All sorts of gunk written on the superstructure of Hindu places of worship. Viewers, these attacks, as I told you, are not just restricted to Canada, Australia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, several other countries. The trouble is, despite the growing evidence of bigotry, self-styled Lutyens crusaders for rights and secularism are deathly quiet. Had, of course, Hindus not been victims, the ecosystem would have erupted. In the past, this has been the case. Let me take you through, viewers, in the past what people have said. Asaduddin Owaisi, who talks about interpersonal, interfaith relations, harmony, togetherness, brotherhood, is very selective. He's quiet today, has talked about past incidents where he says Muslims are being punished for merely being Muslim. I wonder what he would have had said after watching these pictures today. Clearly, viewers, this narrative that he has spun would not hold up, would it? No, it wouldn't, viewers. Let me talk you through other reactions that have come in on this and in the past. Let's look at, apart from Asaduddin Owaisi, let's look at Rahul Gandhi, for instance. He was out on a Bharat Jodo Yatra recently, viewers, to bring people together. These pictures that you are seeing, these violent clashes, Jodo ended, and that was the end of it. These are the forces of Bharat Jodo, and they are happening in a Congress-governed state, viewers. Bear that in mind. Let's look at Teesta Setalvad, another activist. Muslims arrested for riots to show they aren't equal. Equality, viewers, as I told you, is a one-way street in this country. Arundhati Roy, efforts are being made to normalize Islamophobia. Free pass. Whitewashing, however, of Hinduphobia, Hindumesia. Open letter by 49 personalities recently. Lynching of Muslims and other minorities must stop. Jai Shri Ram has become provocative war cry today. Viewers, not a word on Palamu. Not a word. Here's a ground report that you must witness.
अभी मौजूद है ग्राउंड जीरो पर, जहां से इस घटना की शुरुआत हुई। आपको हम दिखा रहे हैं कि जो ये घटना था यहीं से शुरुआत हुई। यहीं पे तोरण द्वार लगाया जाना था, जहां पर दोनों पक्षों के बीच इसी को लेकर विवाद हुई। ये जो जगह है पांकी के मस्जिद चौक के पास है, मस्जिद चौक के पास जहाँ पर ये घटना घटी है, और इसी जगह पर दोनों पक्षों में विवाद हुआ। विवाद के बाद दोनों पक्षों में झड़प शुरू, झड़प के बाद यहाँ पर पत्थरबाजी हुई। देखिए किस तरह क्षतिग्रस्त किया गया है, दुकान को किस तरह तोड़ा गया है, और कितनी जो सड़क है, सड़कों पे पत्थर देख सकते हैं क्या बिछी हुई है। इस घटना में जो जगह है जिसको जो उपद्रवियों द्वारा जो तोड़फोड़ की गई है, आप देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे जो बाइक है उसको क्षतिग्रस्त किया गया है पूरी तरह। यही वो ब्राइट फ्यूचर स्कूल है जहाँ पर बच्चे इस घटना के बाद फंस गए थे और जिन्हें प्रशासन के द्वारा रेस्क्यू किया गया टाइम्स नाउ पर खबर चलने के बाद। हालांकि घटना के बाद जैसे ही पलामू प्रशासन की इस बात की पता चली तो पलामू प्रशासन के जो आला अधिकारी हैं वहाँ पार्टी में कैंप किए हुए हैं। आईजी हो, डीसी हो, एसपी हो, यहाँ पर कैंप हुए हैं और पूरी तरह ये क्षेत्र पुलिस की छावनी में तब्दील हो चुकी है। लगा दिया है सब तोड़ दिया। हम लोग गरीब आदमी क्या करेंगे सर बताइए। देखिए एकदम माहौल
Viewers, this story you will not see on any other news channel tonight. You will not see it in Latvian's media. You will not see it in the bastions of self-styled secular media, viewers. You won't see it there. They will pass this by. And if you talk about it, if Times Now raises this story, talks about Hinduphobia, scores will troll and villainize. They will villainize, viewers. They will villainize. They will even villainize some of the panelists tonight. Within minutes, your timeline will be flooded with invective, abuse. They will say you're whipping up hate. Truth matters very little to them. From Kashmir to Kerela, truth doesn't matter, in fact. In fact, it gets in the way, viewers, of their narrative, which is centered around othering. Who? Hindus, viewers. How will they be able to write for the Guardians and the BBCs and all the other foreign publications if their narrative falls flat? I wonder why, viewers. Why doesn't someone hold mainstream debates on stories such as this, or what is happening in Canada, Australia, etc., or what happened in Kashmir, or in other parts of this country, or what is happening in Kerala? Rahul Ishwar is here with us. Rahul Ishwar, you tell me. Apart from one or two news outlets,
nobody even carried.
Why? Why? Rahul Ishwar, I want to ask you before I bring in Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
And Rahul Shivshankar, just to give a ground feel.
Yeah, you're from Kerala. That's why I've come to you first. Tell me.
Just imagine the audacity, arrogance of the police here saying that, no, they should not use saffron when it connects to a temple festival. See, will they ever say to a Muslim mosque or a church and the Christian brothers or Muslim brothers that they should not use their religious or spiritual flags, or they should not use green in their mosque? So it is that brazen where the so-called pseudo-secular government is using police as an instrument to intimidate the poor Sadhu Hindus, because they feel when the government intimidates, see, you will fall for it. But thankfully, beyond politics, Hindus really strike back, especially the women. We should appreciate them. They all came in the saffron blouse, saying that saffron is our color of the dharma, saffron is the color of our culture. So this is the brazen attitude. And as you rightly said, in India, institutionalized Hinduphobia is called secularism. If you have to be secular, you have to bash Hindus, you have to blame Hindus, you have to criticize Hindus continuously. So this has become a hallmark of so-called Indian pseudo-secularism. This is not genuine pluralism. This is only some kind of antipathy towards Hindu community. And just look at the timeline of the famous left liberals and the ecosystem. Fascism. So when something happens to Hindu community, they don't bother. And just one last line. I lived in Kerala where Kashmiri Pandit issue was never discussed by any so-called liberal. See, when things like Kashmir file came, thankfully, many people even woke up to that reality that lakhs of people lost their life, because that will fall flat the narrative of the perpetual Muslim victimhood and the eternal Hindu fascism. So these are the unfortunate truths that we have to face, and we have to wake up our people in the right sense, saying that facts are facts. There should not be phobia against any faith. We should have harmony. But at the same point of time, saffronphobia should not be branded as progressive, should not be branded as secular, should not be branded as something to look forward to.
Viewers, let me also tell you, and I don't mind risking the opprobrium of the great justices of this country, but extremism directed against Hindus is continually ignored even by the courts. Viewers, not once but twice the Supreme Court has rejected demands by the afflicted Hindus for a probe, a mere probe, an SIT into the genocide in Kashmir. You may think that Nupur Sharma crossed the line and said what she said against the Prophet and she deserves to be punished under the law. Fair enough. Do so. But viewers, extremist reactions to what she said and those who supported her, the Sartan se Juda slogans, etc., were also rationalized by our courts. The Supreme Court came out and blamed Nupur Sharma, saying, you're the villain of the... When was the last time the Supreme Court stepped up to the plate, for example, viewers, and took to task those people committed there by his own MP? He's silent. Viewers, Dr. Anand Ranganathan likes to quote a phrase. It's a closed corporation. This is a closed ecosystem. I will paraphrase Dr. Ambedkar's words that Dr. Anand Ranganathan talks about. This is a closed ecosystem, viewers, that works significantly to other Hindus in this country. And increasingly, viewers, they want to dismantle Hinduness internationally, globally. Look at the reaction that came in the United Kingdom to the attacks on Hindus. It took, viewers, a British report to say what our liberals here could not say. And I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan and Lokesh Jindal now. Dr. Ranganathan, what do you make of this absolute silence, this petrified silence of this human rights lobby? I mean, we have a situation where in Kerala, forget about Palamu for a moment. People will say, oh, how are you, assuming things, this, that, the other. But in Kerala, temple is told, remove all your saffron decorations. Saffron makes us see red. Now you tell me, what is this?
Good evening, Rahul. After that horrendous event in Kerala, I won't be surprised if, a day soon comes when they would ask the saffron to be removed from our flag. Yeah. Honestly, it is getting to be that. But I want to sincerely thank you for time after time highlighting these issues, because if you don't do it, there are very few, if at all, these attacks more than the Indian press. That is selective and agenda driven because it wants to portray India as an anti-Muslim fascist Hindutva state. Let me give you just a few examples, because Rahul, as you know, you can only destroy their propaganda through facts. In Madhopur, Muslim mob assaulted Dalit women as their procession was playing music while passing by a mosque. In Tonk, Muslim mob pelted stones attacked a Gujjar marriage procession with sharp-edged weapons. In Barabanki, a 45-strong Muslim mob assaulted Hindu religious procession with sticks, injuring 10. In Aligarh, in Marma, in Jharkhand, Muslim mobs assaulted Hindu religious processions with awful bad language. Multiple places there was stone pelting. On Ram Navami. Muslims lay down in front of Hanuman Jayanti Shobha Yatra to halt it. Since 2017, there have been more than 200 documented instances of hate crime attacks, lynchings, attempted lynchings by Muslim mobs and Hindus, Dalits and non-Dalits, including in Ranchi, where a Muslim mob segregated bus passengers based on their religion before wanting to set it on fire. Remember Bharat Yadav, who was lynched after being called a kafir, or vandalizing a temple in Delhi while chanting Allahu Akbar and Nara Tadbir? Or lynching Gangaram because he dared to file a police complaint when his daughter was abducted, or going on a arson and murderous rampage in Bangalore over alleged blasphemy by a Dalit, or breaking Ambedkar statue, running amok with swords, thrashing Dalit families after they objected to a Dalit girl, Sarita, being assaulted by a Muslim, or nearly lynching a Dalit, Jayanti Bhati, for daring to wear a Pathan suit, threatening to kill him if he wears it again. None of these incidents elicit a response or outrage from the cottage industry of activists and journalists who only highlight incidents where Muslims are the victims. And as for mainstreaming of hate, let me remind you of what happened to Kamlesh Tiwari and Nupur Sharma, and how lakhs of Muslims poured onto the streets screaming Gustake Rasool ki ek hi saza sar tan se juda. Rahul, just 30 seconds. You cannot cure these propagandists. If there's one thing I've learned over the last 8 years, they're like the multiple stories of fake Jai Shri Ram slogan triggering. They have perfected selective outrage. If it isn't stone pelting on Ram Navami or Durga processions, it is stone pelting at Garba. But all around us, all we see are dara hua Mussalmans.
So let me bring in Mr. Jindal. Mr. Jindal, do you admit that there are hate crimes taking place against Hindus? And if you do admit this, what is the reason for it?
Rahul, I believe that in order to make somebody a savior, you need to make someone victim. And right now, the narrative that BJP is setting forth to make a leader a savior of Hindus, it has to create a narrative that Hindus are being victims. There is a phobia that is all across the globe, whereby Hindus are being exploited, they are being victimized, but there is nothing like that. Now, tomorrow we are having elections in Tripura. And look at the timing. I mean, all the organizations affiliated with BJP, they know it very well when to create what form of discord to be manufactured at what point of time. I mean, the schedule is always ready. So just before the elections, why is it that last year in February and March, when the election calendar was released, all the riots were to happen in February, March and April only? By April, they have sprayed kerosene all over the country because it suits their political purpose. Few lives are lost, so it doesn't matter to them. Hindu religion is being abused. A Hindu's image globally is destroyed, but it doesn't matter to them. What matters to them are few seats, few votes, and an electoral victory.
So let me ask you.
So this is all a
since your
narrative
government, since your party is in power in government there in Jharkhand, let me ask you a simple question, Lokesh Jindal. In this small town of Palamu, who would bring down a Shivratri Toran, a gateway, built for a Hindu procession? Who do you think would do it? Are you saying the BJP has done it, sir?
No, I would say somebody with an insane mind, somebody who has lost his senses and does not have a basic, common sense.
Who?
And
Who's
communally very much
crime?
disturbed. Such forms of elements, they indulge into such activities.
Okay, so mentally,
now, these could be from either
challenged.
religion.
You're saying a mentally challenged person. This is not one person. This is a whole bunch of people.
I won't say a mentally challenged.
Then what are you saying?
A communally charged person.
Okay, so what would make them? Okay, so Mr. Jindal, what would make them? You would admit that this was an attack on a Hindu symbol, yes or no? In
Yes,
Parliament?
certainly.
Yes. So then, sir, what would bring out this hate? And what would you call this hate?
Yes, Rahul. In 80s and 90s, there used to be a movie plot. If the hero wanted to impress the heroine, his friends used to go and they used to create the scene that the heroine is in danger, and then suddenly used to come as a savior. Now, when such forms of incidents happen, the police has to investigate whether these incidents were indeed communal or it was manufactured by the party which benefits the most out of it.
Look at this, Mr. Jindal. My God, manufactured. So I want to ask you then, what manufacturing took place in the minds of the Kerala police controlled by the Kerala state that called upon a temple to remove, saffron decorations? Can I ask you this?
The police gave a simple recommendation that all colors should be used.
Right, all right.
And over here, the
would
temple
they give
authorities,
would you say that
the issue.
Mr. Jindal, would you say that the Kerala police should also give instructions to masjids to hang up saffron decorations?
But I would say the police, its task is to maintain law and order.
Right.
And
so
community,
so listen to this. Viewers, in a Hindu temple, you can't put up saffron decorations because it will impact law and order. Tomorrow they'll say, remove, one second. Tomorrow they'll say, remove all the idols. Yeah. Don't take out, hang on. This is a ridiculous length to this can go. In Mumbai, viewers, 1 second. 1 minute. On Ganpati, viewers, people take for immersion. And I want to come to Ratan Sharda ji. So you're a Mumbaikar, you live in Maharashtra. I want to ask you a question. What happens during Ganpati? What do we see?
Rahul, there are some ludicrous arguments.
So should Ganpati. All Hindus not take their Ganpatis anymore for immersion?
See, Rahul, being Hindu itself has become provocative these days. There is a new kind of racism where anti-Hindu has become the apartheid word and Hinduphobia has been institutionalized. Mr. Jindal fights every day wonderfully for the Congress with some foolish arguments. He means to say that Hindus should change their festival calendars because there are elections around. So Maha Shivratri should be postponed or preponed to some other date because there is some election going on. Does he mean to say that Mr. Modi paid Khalistani elements to deface temples in Canada, UK, Australia, etc., etc.? What kind of ridiculous arguments do people make? In Kerala,
allow me to reply and tell you how enlightened
wait. Don't get provoked immediately. I'm not finished yet. You have provoked Hindus enough. Can you keep quiet? I didn't speak.
Continue.
Ask him to keep quiet.
Mr. Jindal, that's not fair. No one interfered when you went on your monologue. We all listened to you.
Names, that's why.
No, please. You can respond to him right after. I'm not going to stop you. Just raise your hand.
Mr. Lokesh Jindal, you may be very smart, but we are not fools here, okay? People
so you are enlightened.
What?
You are the only one who is enlightened.
Again, he has started.
Okay.
Situation. Anywhere in India, you have to seek police protection when Hindu processions happen, when Hindu festivities happen. No minority has had to ever take protection. What does it show? It shows that only Hindus have to carry the cross of being secular or being tolerant, and they have to seek protection in so-called majority Hindu state, so-called Hindu nation, to take out their processions. Just 2022, there are 36 attacks recorded and documented in which 8 people died, including 1 3-year-old child. These attacks were during Shivratri, Ramanavami, Durga Puja, Hindu New Year, Ganesh Chaturthi, then you have Diwali, you have Kamad Yatra, Vaishno Devi Yatra. In 14 states and 1 union territory, was it all by BJP? Was it all by RSS? Was it initiated by these people? What is the sin they did? That they were born Hindu, they wanted to celebrate.
Okay.
My dear Lokesh Jindal, we are people who enjoy festivities, who enjoy celebrations. That is why we will remain that way. We are not a sad, religion who doesn't like music,
my very enlightened.
1 second, Jindal Saab.
Have we become second-class citizens in the land of Shankaracharya?
Just a moment.
Have we become second-class citizens in the land of Shankaracharya?
Just a moment.
Before trying to point out what the other person's views are.
Mr. Jindal, just a moment. I am not finished yet. Saffron is the color of sacrifice, India's history, tradition, culture, wisdom, and you are trying to demonize it. You call it a BJP RSS color. This is Hindu color.
Swami Vivekananda addressed the United Nations viewers dressed in saffron garb. Now, hang on 1 second. Lokesh Jindal, 1 second. I just want you to remember this. You said that, you will disturb the peace if you hang up saffron decorations even outside. Fair enough. I want viewers now to listen to what happened in Kerala. The way of the cross ritual organized on the occasion of Good Friday too had attracted a large crowd in the northern Kerela districts. The most significant ceremony was held on the Thamarasari Ghat Road after 2 years. I'm not saying this, viewers. This is the Hindu, which Mr. Lokesh Jindal reads, because there quite often, viewers, as the Supreme Court also has said, fake documents are used to support a Congress narrative. So, Mr. Jindal, you will perhaps read the Hindu. I'll send you the copy, and now you tell me, that the way of the cross ritual should also be banned.
Just
Say
one
it.
submission.
Say it, Mr.
The
Jindal.
moment religion comes to the street, it ceases to be a religion.
Okay,
becomes
so
politics.
should
politicization of religion in any form.
devout Muslims offer prayers on streets outside mosques, sir? Should that be allowed?
Absolutely. I strongly protest. I object that. And I want the civil society.
Your Congress party doesn't. Your Congress party supports it.
Because
no, why does Congress party then support it? I'm asking you, why does Congress party support it? Why should you even have then? No, hang on. Why should you even have loudspeakers? Excuse me. Why should you even have loudspeakers on minarets of mosques?
See, Rahul, when
No, I'm asking you this question,
politicization of religion, it takes time.
Okay. Dr. Ranganathan is raising his hand.
And since Mr. Ratan Sharda called out my name, let me reply to the point that he put forward.
Yeah, please. Reply.
No, let me reply what he said. Now, this particular gentleman said, India is a so-called Hindu nation and Hindu state. Can you please tell me once anywhere in the constitution where India is a Hindu nation or a Hindu state? Please answer this, sir. And secondly, when you are talking about, where is it written?
It's in the constitution of RSS.
No, didn't you say that
India
India is a Hindu nation or a Hindu state?
It's in the constitution of RSS.
Make a comment. So can I please request?
No, when you are coming over here, when you are claiming something, at least have constitutional basis.
One second.
They have no place here in India. The constitution which is framed by...
Asif Sohail, 1 second. Asif Sohail, 1 second. Okay, Jindal, Mr. Jindal, please now calm down. You made your point. Fair enough. Okay, Dr. Ranganathan.
No, very quickly, Mr. Jindal is free to have his views, howsoever strange or bizarre they may be, or I may find them to be, or my good friend Rate may find them to be. The fact is, I want to make just 2 points on his comments that I find extremely painful, because what he's done is, by alluding or insinuating that BJP is behind all these attacks, he's insulted the memory of the slain Hindus, including the Kashmiri Hindus who were driven out purely because of religious reasons from Kashmir in 1990, and also people like Mr. Bharat Yadav, who was lynched by a Muslim mob by saying, you are a kafir, you deserve death. So many other instances. And while he says that these processions and the communal, the problems or riots that they cause are instigated by BJP, I want to ask him a simple... No, please don't interrupt. Lokesh, this is... Rahul, Lokesh, I don't expect this from you. Please, let's maintain some decorum, because I'm about to finish. So while I am very pained by your insulting the memories of those who've been slain because of religious reasons, I want to ask you a very simple question. You insinuate that the BJP is behind communalizing all these religious processions. I want to ask you a simple thing. Was there, according to you, yes or no, was there, according to you, a Congress hand in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots?
Look, Anand, I have immense respect for you. But when you put forth an argument,
let's leave the respect some other time.
When you are coming forward with 1984,
Lokesh, please.
No, it is something which is there in your mind.
Was there a Congress hand?
See,
was there a Congress hand?
Listen to me. Absolutely not. Congress was never.
There wasn't a Congress hand
of religion.
There wasn't a Congress hand.
Religion was something that BJP's recipe.
Have you seen how easy it is?
Please don't bring us to that particular level.
He says the Congress did not have a hand in 1984 Sikh riots.
The issue of communalism and communalization. It is not something that Congress embarks upon.
Lokesh,
it is Congress that made sure that India remains a secular country, a secular nation. India,
if you leave
Congress
people in doubt when you are not speaking,
amongst all religions.
You remove all doubt.
Actually, Dr. Ranganathan, look, on certain things, even I have given up engaging with Mr. Jindal, because he doctors the facts. Now, no Congress hand behind the anti-Sikh riots of 84. Sajjan Kumar has been convicted for the 84 riots. And I'll tell you, viewers, had there actually been no Congress hand, the Congress party would have moved with alacrity to punish. And I also want you to know, viewers, that this entire ecosystem of left liberals would have moved with alacrity over the genocide in Kashmir. Now, because they didn't, and because it suited them by Mr. Jindal's logic, it would stand to reason that the Congress and the NC and others were perhaps also complicit, because they stood to benefit.
He's insulted the Sikhs.
So can you imagine? He's insulted the Sikhs, he's insulted Hindus, he's also now exposed the Congress party as being complicit. As being complicit in several riots. So viewers, here you have Mr. Jindal arguing a bizarre case. Nonetheless, let me move to the next. Let me move to the next. Professor Atikur Rahman. He never lets us down. He's usually the voice of sanity. So let me ask you, Professor Saab, do you admit crimes against Hindus are taking place in this country? And if you do admit, what is the reason for it?
Well, Rahul, I do not recognize any of our citizens as Hindus and Muslims. Crimes are crimes committed by people against one another.
Wow.
And we have elected the legislators to take all crimes into cognizance and act upon severely on the people who are committing such crimes.
Right. Just the other day, 1 second, Professor. Just the other day, you were sitting here and saying in the Delhi riots, more Hindus had been persecuted because that entire riot was Islamophobic in nature. तब तो आपको धर्म दिख रहा था. आज की डेट में आप बड़े ही secular बन गए. In fact, you have become almost French in your outlook. Zabardast, Professor Saab. I told you he never lets you down, viewers. He never lets you down.
Thank you for that compliment, Rahul.
Okay. So if you are French, if you are French,
this compliment,
if you are French,
but on a
no, 1 second.
day,
If you hang on. Now let's no. If it's a compliment and you think being French is a compliment, so let me then ask you, sir, if you believe in the French system of laïcité, should the hijab not be worn in public places? Because in France they don't allow you. So I want to ask you, Professor Rahman, since you are so French, अब आप फ्रेंची के जैसे जवाब दीजिए.
Charlie Hebdo cartoonists also.
Yes. And therefore, yes,
no,
Charlie
I
Hebdo,
accepted.
Those cartoons should be then
no,
also
I accepted, Rahul,
published.
your compliment.
हाँ, आप बताइए, Professor साहब.
Rahul, I accepted your compliment regarding you telling me that I have turned secular. I do not, I never heard
I didn't say you turned. I said that you have turned secular to the point that you have become French in your outlook. And you said, thank you. So I'm asking you, since you ascribe to a French secular sensibility, let me ask you, do you stand, therefore, and back the ban on the hijab?
You said that. Anyways.
Okay. Anyways. So, Professor Saab, listen.
Anyways.
Don't be too clever by half on times now. I will pull out statements of yours where you have played the Muslim victim card on this channel, clearly identifying your point of view with a religion. So please don't do this. Don't be too clever. When a crime is being committed and it is obvious,
I do agree, Rahul.
Call it out for what it is. Don't chicken out of it.
I do agree, Rahul. I do agree that sometimes I am compelled by your arguments to go communal. I will not hide my face towards that. But the fact of the matter is, and please allow me just 30 seconds. In a critical day when people are fighting with each other, charging each other with communal overtones, is this responsible on our part to come out with the old wounds? Or is this very much responsible on our part to tell the authorities to act severely on the people who are committing such crimes?
So then I have to ask you, then Professor Saab, then I must ask you, when the Babri Masjid came down, Professor Saab, should anyone have talked about it? Because you see, it was such a hot matter. Let's not talk about it. Let's not condemn it. Chhod do na. Ignore kar do. क्या फालतू में लोगों के बीच में दीवार
Truth
खड़ी
first,
कर रहे हैं?
then reconciliation.
Gujarat riots. Gujarat riots.
Should we not have
So
spoken?
there are
Exactly.
skeletons in all the cupboards.
Then say that.
The skeletons.
Then
should
say
be-
that
should
and
be
call
removed
them
from
by
the
their
cupboard at
names.
this critical
Call them
juncture.
by their names. One
Today,
skeleton is
and for
Hinduphobia
what-
and call
for
it out
God-
by its name
for
and start
God's sake,
accepting the
for
facts.
what reason have we elected our legislature?
Listen, Professor Atikur Rahman, I've heard you out tonight. On 3 questions, you have dodged. And you have dodged in a scandalously evasive manner. I mean, it is
Your
absolutely
choice, your choice.
scandalous. And I said, viewers, that they will say, by raising this issue, what are you doing? You're whipping up hate.
Yeah.
Viewers, for how many years? From 2002 to 23, or my maths is not my best, so 21 years, viewers, they have only spoken about the Gujarat riots. This gentleman came and praised the BBC. He was on our channel for opening wounds so that we could look at the truth. This gentleman, Professor Atikur Rahman.
Amazing. Amazing.
तब तो बीबीसी के साथ आप जम के खड़े हुए, वो क्या कर रहा है? बीबीसी की जर्नलिज्म आपको अच्छी लगती है, टाइम्स नाउ के तीखे सवाल आपको पसंद नहीं है, ये तो अजब बात है, अजब. So, Professor, tonight don't do this. And Asif Suhail bhai,
So we are
I dread
discussing
coming
the
to
matter,
you.
na?
I was scared.
So
I
we are
even
discussing
told.
the matter, na?
One second,
Rahul,
Professor. One
Rahul,
second,
I
Professor.
want-
I
Rahul,
dread
I
going
want
to
CBFC.
No, 1 second. I dread
Rahul,
going
I
to
want
Asif.
CBFC. I
Yeah.
want CBFT. I want CBFC to censor you, Rahul, because even Bollywood doesn't expose so much as you have exposed tonight.
Well, sir, I can't help it. I mean, you know, these people are ridiculous.
But
Are
Rahul does not wear
ridiculous
saffron.
in their attempts to cover up. I mean, they have
Good
gone to
to see
ridiculous.
that
I mean,
both
it
of
is
you
so
are complimenting
transparent.
each other.
Anyhow, I think I should just move on to the next debate because it's an important one.
Good
Asif bhai,
compliments.
I don't even want to come to you. मैंने बोला था I will start with Jindal bhai, then I'll go to Professor, and आपका तो मैं सुन के ही I think I will be, I might not know how to react. So I'm passing you over, Asif Suhail bhai, tonight. I'll pass you over. Do indulge me. I beg you, because you will say that, you see, I'm somebody who is whipping up, you know, all sorts of hate. You'll sue me, you'll throw me into jail. 5 other people will then put a fatwa on me. I don't want to go the way Rashdi is, so I'm letting you go, sir, today. Thank you very much. I want to move on to another big story, viewers.